Hello, my name is Fendus123. I'm playing Team Fortress 2. So it is now Halloween in Team Fortress 2. It seems like there are no new maps. I googled it, but I couldn't find anything. But I'm not complaining. In this video, I'm gonna talk about Super Mario Bros. 2. When I was a child, I wanted New Super Mario Bros. Wii for Christmas. But instead, I got Super Mario All-Stars, and that made me sad. But later, at some point, I got New Super Mario Bros. Wii. So I had Super Mario All-Stars, the port on the Wii. And I played it at least a tiny bit. I don't remember very well. I must have played it. I'm pretty sure I played Super Mario Brothers or Super Mario Brothers: The Lost Levels. I must have played at least one of them. I think maybe both. I think I vaguely remember that, playing at least one of them. And I think I vaguely remember playing a little bit of Super Mario Bros. 2 and a little bit of Super Mario Bros. 3. But I played very little of them. Maybe only like 1 or 2 levels in each game. Many years later, in 2018, I played Super Mario Bros. 2, the All-Stars version. And I beat it. And later that year, I Let's Played it on my YouTube channel. You may watch it if you want to. I would say it's one of my best Let's Plays, maybe. I would say it was during the golden age of my YouTube channel. The year 2018. Basically. or something like that. So this map here is Precipice. If I remember correctly, a year ago, last Team Fortress 2 Halloween, I deliberately tried to play every map. And maybe I succeeded, I don't remember. Anyway, for some reason, in 2018, when I was 14, I decided to play the Super Mario Bros. 2 All-Stars version, like I said. I don't know why I played the All-Stars version instead of the NES version. I also did that with the Lost Levels. The All-Stars version instead of the Famicom version. And Super Mario Brothers. Super Mario Brothers 1, that is. Super Mario Brothers. That was in 2017, if I remember correctly. Because I was doing this stupid thing where I was like alternating between studying for like the chemistry the physics test or whatever, and playing Super Mario Brothers. I'll like get a game over and then return to studying. Is so stupid. That was like right at the end of 2017, if I remember correctly. But I did play Super Mario Bros. 3. I also played Super Mario Bros. 3 in 2018. I don't remember if I've said it on my YouTube channel before, but I really feel like 2018 was the year of the video games for me. I played a lot of video games. But I played Super Mario Bros. 3 on the... I played the NES version of Super Mario Bros. 3. I had acquired it years prior, in like 2015. On the Wii U Virtual Console, the NES version of Super Mario Bros. 3, and I'd played a little bit, but I didn't beat it. But then in 2018 I played it again, and I did beat it. Here in real life it is raining a little bit outside, so that's nice, I guess. Basileio's playing something in voice chat here. So what I decided when I was 14 I decided to play the All-Stars version of Super Mario Bros. 2. I don't know why. I don't really remember exactly what I was thinking with that. Like I said, playing Super Mario Bros. 2 and Super Mario Bros. And Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels on the All-Stars version instead of the NES and Famicom versions. But, well, I guess I just did that because that's just happened to be what I had. I had the All-Stars disc. Somehow I didn't feel that it was a good idea. Somehow I didn't feel that it was better to play the NES and Famicom versions. I don't really have that. I mean, well, what am I even? I mean, how am I even making this sound like right now? The thing is, I don't really have that strong. Well, the thing is, I don't have that strong of an opinion when it comes to Super Mario Bros. 2. Maybe I don't have that strong of an opinion when it comes to Super Mario Bros. 2. Well, maybe I do. I don't know. I definitely feel that Super Mario Bros. And Super Mario Bros. Lost Levels are atrocious in the All-Stars version. Certainly I feel very strongly about the Lost Levels because I love that game incredibly much. It is like my favorite Mario game. It's like one of my favorite video games ever. So do I really have that strong of an opinion? Well, I don't know what I'm saying. When it comes to like, well, how do I feel? I don't know. But whatever. But I decided to play the All-Stars version of Super Mario Bros. 2 when I was 14. But the other day, I felt like playing the NES version of Super Mario Bros. 2. But I don't play video games which require skill at all anymore. I just can't do it. I just can't. Video games which require even the tiniest bit of skill, I just don't play them anymore. I can't do it. I wish I were a cool person who could play those kinds of video games, but I just can't do it anymore. I did it when I was younger, but I just can't do it anymore. and it does make me feel very uncool. But the other day I felt like playing Super Mario Bros. 2, the NES version. So I did. And maybe that was the first time I played the NES version of Super Mario Bros. 2. I don't know. Maybe I'd played it for a few minutes at some point in my life. I don't remember. But I played it. And it was really cool. Really nice. A lot nicer than the All-Stars version, I guess. Sure, I mean, yeah. I beat World 1, and I got to World 2. And I died in the first level, and that's when I decided to do this thing, which I do when I play Mario games, except I can't actually remember ever, I can't really remember ever actually doing it. I don't know if I've ever actually used this strategy, but there is a strategy which I've thought of when playing Mario games. There's a strategy I've thought of, but I don't remember if I've ever actually used it. I can't actually remember ever using it, but I used it when playing Super Mario Bros. 2, and that strategy is to commit suicide, to get a game over, to replenish all my lives. Because, I mean, the game's kind of, well, the game's kind of really disincentivize not doing that, or however you would put it. If you don't do that, then you're just going to be worse off. The only reason not to do it is that it's annoying, it takes time. But that is apparently something that I begrudgingly do, though. Except, like I said, I don't remember ever actually doing it. But maybe I have. And, you know, I've watched let's plays, people playing Mario games on YouTube, and they realize it. They sometimes realize that they've ended up in a bad situation by not committing suicide to get a game over to replenish their lives. They realize it sometimes that they've gotten themselves into a bad situation because of that, because they don't have as many lives as they could have had. But of course, it is not fun to waste one's time getting a game over to replenish one's lives. And so I did that in World 2-1 in Super Mario Bros. 2. I got a game over. And So where was I? I kind of took a little pause. Where was I? I got a game over in I made myself get a game over in Super Mario Bros. 2 World 2-1. And that's when I saw it. It said on the screen, continue 2. Let me just, I kind of told this, kind of talked about this in a bit of a wrong order, kind of. So let me just mention something else first, I guess. Because I kind of said this in the wrong order, not that it really matters that much, but let me just say this first, before I continue with that. In the NES version of Super Mario Bros. 2, you have 3 lives. In the All-Stars version, you have 5 lives. This is the kind of shit that how did I not realize, I was so stupid when I was younger that I thought that the All-Stars versions and the NES versions were more similar to each other than they actually are. You get 2 more lives in the All-Stars version. That's ridiculous. And it's not just in Super Mario Bros. 2, it's also in Super Mario Bros. And Super Mario Bros. Lost Levels. Don't know how it is in Super Mario Bros. 3, but whatever. There are differences. It's not just... Oh my god, it's this. It's the carts. I remember this. Man, this just made me remember kind of another fun map or two, or whatever, in the Halloween. I don't know, whatever. It's pretty crazy, these Halloween maps. But the All-Stars versions and the NES versions, it's not just a visual difference, it's not just a sound difference. It is quite very relevant, or kind of really game changing things to, like, the amount of lives. But anyway, let me get back to what I was talking about. I got a game over, and it said on the screen, continue 2. And so I discovered that in the NES version of Super Mario Bros. 2, you can only continue after a game over on the world that you are on twice. And so if you get 3 game overs, you get sent back to World 1-1. And that is a huge difference compared to All-Stars, where you get to start over on the same world endless amount of times. That is a huge difference. A huge difference. And after thinking about it, it's genius. It is absolutely genius. Because it adds some depth to the game. Because when you're playing the NES version, and by the way, that's when I stopped playing. I didn't play anymore after that. Well, actually, I did. I used save states to play various later levels and stuff. But anyway. Best Halloween map by far, says Glue Tasty. Oh. Because when you're playing the Super Mario Bros. 2, the NES version of Super Mario Bros. 2, so if you get 3 game overs, you get sent back to World 1-1, and so the thing about it is that if you get 3 game overs on World 2. If you run out of continues, that's another way to put it. Then you don't get to start at World 2-1. Instead, you start at World 1-1, and then you have to beat World 1 again to get back to World 2, where you were. You have to beat World 1 again. Oh my god. Wow. Rocket League, says Glue Tasty. So you have to beat World 1 again to get back to World 2. So that's something. And if you beat World 2 and get to World 3, and then you run out of continues in World 3, then you start back at World 1-1, and you have to beat World 1 again, and World 2 again, and then you're back at World 3. If you beat World 3, and you get to World 4, and you run out of continues in World 4, you get sent back to World 1-1, and here comes the genius part. The warp zones. Then you can play. Then you can go through World 1-1, World 1-2, and then in World 1-3, there is a warp zone which leads to World 4. So then, if you know about the warp, if you've found the warp zone, you can get to World 4 that way. So you don't have to replay Worlds 2 and 3. And so then if you beat World 4 and you reach World 5 and you run out of continues in World 5, you get sent back to World 1-1. And then you can beat World 1. And you can beat World 2. And then in 3-1, there is a warp zone, which leads to World 5. So that way you can get back to World 5, you don't have to beat Worlds 3 and Worlds 4 again. And so then you're back at World 5. And if you beat World 5, so then if you beat World 5, you get to World 6. And if you run out of continues in World 6, you get sent back to World 1-1. And then there are two different paths you can take, I suppose. You could beat World 1 and World 2 and take the warp from World 3-1 world from 3-1 to World 5, and then beat World 5, and then you're back at World 6. Or you could take the warp from World 1-3 to World 4, and then you can take the warp zone in World 4-2, which leads to World 6. So then you're back at World 6. And of those two options, I suppose the latter is the better. I mean, yeah, it's like probably much better, right? I mean, if you take the 3-1 warp, then you will have to go through 10 levels. But if you take the 1-3 warp and the 4-2 warp, then you only have to go through 5 levels. And I can't imagine that those 5 levels are much more difficult than those 10 levels. So yeah, kind of totally unnecessary of me to even bring that up, I suppose. But whatever. And if you beat World 6, you will reach World 7. And if you run out of continues in World 7, then you will get sent back to World 1. then what you can do is beat World 1 and beat World 2 and take the 3-1 warp to World 5, and then in 5-3 you can take the warp zone which leads to World 7. So that way you can get back to World 7. So I realized this, and I think it's genius. I don't know, maybe this is totally unremarkable and uninteresting, but I think it's genius. It adds more depth to the game. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say that it's better, this system, but I do find it interesting how they designed it. So that's a huge difference between the NES version and the All-Stars version. Is it, I suppose I would think that it is quite right to say that that is a huge difference. I don't know. Oh nice, I got both of them. So there's the cauldron. Isn't this it? Isn't this what I was remembering? And why am I taking damage? What is this? No, this isn't it. This is the other map. This is this one. Well, I don't even remember. I don't know. I'm like mixing different I'm mixing up different maps, I guess. Rat is short for Rathu. Goodbye.